of Zoom chats during lockdown with female coaches that are trying to make their way in the coaching environment, and they're saying to me, do I need to put a picture like that up? You know, and it's like, oh. And now I follow them, I can see every now and again that they're doing it, and it's not them. I've spoken to them, but they feel like they've got to do it.
If you don't like it, you'll quit out. It's from Eric. He said, what do you think about Paige Spiranac and the presence she plays up to? Is it good for golf or not?
Why did you think that was a weird question?
Just because, for me, obviously Paige Spiranac is known for being a professional golfer, and she posts pictures that some people might see are quite revealing. Now, I don't know how to look at it as a man. No, because the male point of view, you can look at.
Follow her.
No, from a male's point of view, it's like, well, that's her body. She can do what she wants with it, and that's what a lot of other women and feminists believe, which is completely fine. Other people think she's gained a career and a following off the back of how she looks, potentially. And again, that's also fine, but it could be viewed as, well, you've got so many LET players who are grinding, who want sponsorship, who are amazing golfers, who haven't got that because they don't post pictures like that, potentially. And she has got all that, so they might look at her, potentially, again, and say, that's not fair. So
I met Paige. I've met her a couple of times, actually. I think she's one of the first. And when you're the first, the pioneer, like you are, Rick, people copy her. Mm-hmm. So she's been copied a lot.
I don't think my sexy pictures would do quite as well.
No, but what you do with your...
I'll try. I've tried a few times.
The ones you've sent me by mistake before aren't bad.
So she's tapped into something which no one else had. And it's become a business. Mm-hmm. So you've got to go, well done for doing that. I think there's a lot of people that are jumping on the back of it. When she started to get invites to events, I think even she felt uncomfortable with that. Mm-hmm. She openly spoke about like crying the night before playing in Dubai. I think she probably said yes to it without really realising what it meant, and she knew that she was treading on some toes there when she arrived. This girl had never, I don't know if she'd even left America, and she turns up in Dubai, this new country, with 130 girls that it's a bit like, hang on a minute, what are you doing here?
She would have taken someone's spot, presumably.
Kind of. When it's an invite, you can invite whoever you want.
So the field just gets bigger?
No. There'll be 6 invitational spots. They could invite 6 Kardashians if they wanted to. Mm-hmm. So nobody's got any divine right to take those invitations.
So there's going to be, let's say, 130 field. There'll be 124. You are definitely in. You've earned the right to be here. And we're going to have 6 sponsored invites,
which will make the tournament better.
Who we can invite whoever the hell we want. Somebody local, Paige Spiranac, Kim Kardashian, whoever it may be.
The argument could be, and probably would be, well, she's not got any chance of winning. Should give it to someone that will have a chance. But then the other argument could be, but the exposure she will give the event is massive for golf. So that's why we've
got it at the minute with Ricky Fowler and his invites to the PGA. People are suddenly like forgot that you can actually play golf, and they're saying it's all about media stuff. You're always going to get that when you're an invite. So that's at this. But with Paige, I'm thankful now that Paige is monetarising what she's doing, because I felt at the beginning, having known her, she was quite in a vulnerable position and people were taking advantage of her for that. At least now she's earning money from what she's doing and she's owning it. And she's sticking up for herself against the trolls and not changing who she is. And I like that more. I think at the start, she got this fame and she had no idea what to do with it. And now she does. So she's in a better place for it. I think I do have a slight problem, I suppose, with people that want to be an influencer and decide to do it through golf. That's my only one at the moment, I would say.
I've noticed that trend.
I've definitely noticed that
trend.
Where
they've come into golf and it's like, this is going to be what I'm going to leverage. I'm going to be kind of quite unique that I'm a young girl playing golf. I'm going to use this to gain a following.
Yeah. But then there's some really good ones where I've followed the journey of a girl that I think she was the beginner golfer, lady golfer, and now she's off 18, so she's like, I need to change my handicap.
Yeah.
But she's got a job of something else. It's more of a... And I think that's the trouble. You start just documenting it and then realise that people want to give you stuff. And also, I think companies still don't realise the difference between followers and interaction.
Engagement,
and engagement, which I'm sure you guys have found as well. When the companies learn that, this will stop, I do think. But yeah, I think I want to see a woman that, like, that's why I enjoy some of the women that I teach. Like Naga Munchetti, right? She could earn loads from golf, couldn't she?
Just people listening, she's a TV news presenter. You'd classify her as. She does like the morning breakfast TV over here. I played with her at the BMW. I played with her in the Rico Ladies Open.
When you played with NASA?
Yeah, when I played with NASA.
She's got a radio show and she sits on the morning news, and she on the television.
And you teach her?
Yeah, I teach now. I'm friends with Naga. We got friendly through golf. She plays like it's her off time with her husband. Like, she loves golf. I want that. Like, not necessarily, but that's the world we're living in, I suppose, with Instagram.
The problem is that if you get some young attractive girl or whatever it might be who makes an Instagram account, starts playing golf, and then a brand shoves some free clubs at them,
why would you not say
again? I can't blame the brand in some regard because they want any more eyeballs and it costs them buttons. I can't blame the girl or the boy, whatever, for taking them because it's free golf clubs. But it just upsets me that then some young kid who's out there grinding, who's off 2, who's 14, whose parents haven't got much money, and they could do so much those clubs. But again, how does that problem get fixed?
I've sat on a lot of Zoom chats during lockdown with female coaches that are trying to make their way in the coaching environment, and they're saying to me, do I need to put a picture like that up? You know, and it's like, oh. And now I follow them, I can see every now and again that they're doing it, and it's not them. I've spoken to them, but they feel like they've got to do it. But I do think that's the world that we live in. A lot of people post for a like, don't they? Well, you just got to stay true to yourself. If you want to do that, which is what Paige wants to do, she's happy with that. She works really hard on her body, and she's got a great body. If that's what she wants to do and she owns it, then great. But don't do it because you want likes and feel like you should do it.
Well, I think there's a couple of things that the industry needs to change on, and just social media in general. Like you said before about buying, you know, if they sponsor these Instagrammers and stuff like that, they'll go off the follower number only and not the engagement. But what they're missing out on then, and it's not the person from that brand's fault, because they have to report to somebody else, and it's that person on the senior marketing team that goes, so how many followers did we get with this? Well, we've just signed such a body, they've got 150,000 followers. Brilliant, great, I'll sign that off. But like I say, it's going down that pecking order, going, well, how many comments is she getting? How many pieces of clothing are we selling from this, or golf clubs, or whatever it may be? What's our ROI on this kind of investment, really? And that kind of gets missed a little bit. Do you think, and this again, do you think it's a conscious decision when, and you just spent loads of time around lady tour players, do they sometimes feel like they haven't potentially got the look to become super famous or super sponsorable? Have you ever had any feedback that they don't fit the mold, that they should get paid more money?
At the end of the day, with professional golf, if you're really good at it, you get sponsors.
Of course.
Fact.
Of course.
Doesn't matter what you look like. If you are the best, you will get sponsored. So I would always say to anybody, your golf comes first.
Yeah.
There will always be people that pick up more sponsorship because they look better in the clothes. If you're selling clothes, you need people to look good in them, don't you? So that's almost the bonus. If they're really good at golf and then they've got that's the bonus.
And is it the bonus where they can bring out a calendar? Or
I don't think you see that as much.
Is that
in? I don't think you see that as much in golf, especially, but in women's sport now, I do think there's a better value to. Once upon a time, I would open a newspaper, and the only time women's sport would be in it would be towards the front pages, and it would be something negative had happened, or somebody had done some calendar. It was never in the back pages.
No,
it's now on television, it's now in the back pages. I don't think as women need to do that. I think we need to tell each other that we don't need that. And if somebody wants you to do it, question it. Like, why? I don't know, any sponsor, would you do this? Why do you want me to do that? Why don't we do this? What can we do? Don't just say yes to that type of thing. I don't think the calendars are. I've not seen a calendar for a long time.
Have you seen?
Nobody buys calendars anymore. It wasn't their iPhone.
Yeah, true.
Instagram's a new calendar, isn't it? I suppose.
You remember like Golf Punk and stuff like that?
Yeah, massively. That's all kind of.
Yeah, And people that do that golf, Carly Booth has got one of the best bodies in golf. Like, we joke, best legs on tour.
Yeah.
You know, but she works really hard to get that. She's in the gym constantly. If she wants to do that and feel comfortable doing it, then do it.
Do you think there's a trend at the moment, or do you think there will be a trend in the future where the golf for some of these girls is not doing the talking, i.e. they are starting to glamorize themselves more artificially, potentially, to get sponsored deals or to get more endorsements? Or have you seen it at all yet, and you have to name names, and do you think you might see it in the future?
I think women in general care far more what they look like coming to performing in sport. You know, I'd always make sure I'd have makeup on when I played golf, even if it was a 6:30 tee time. Pretty sure men don't. I'd always make sure my outfit was spot on, that it was comfortable, that I looked. We do that in life. Women have a responsibility to what we think to us. So we spend loads of money on our hair, nails, all that anyway. So that is something which I think is a good thing. If you're a sponsor in them, you know you're never going to have to worry about that.
Of course.
That's a given in the women's game. I think with the fitness, it's going to be interesting to see about how far people hit it, because I can't see a woman wanting to do what Bryson's done to their body. I can't see them bulking up to that extreme.
That's a good point. Didn't think about that.
You know, it's not going to happen. If you look at them, they're quite slight, aren't they? The women on tour that have gone for the fitness area to it. They're slight and fit. They're not stacked, I suppose.
What about like a Serena Williams type physique then, where they're like, she was obviously quite ripped, wasn't she?
Yeah, but I think she's quite naturally.
Yeah.
I don't think she's. I think that's her natural fit physique. She's not gone right. She's always been
muscular and lean.
Whereas a sister is really tall and lean. Yeah. Serena's not. So I suppose you wouldn't ever think they'd swap around in that respect. I think as a media, we need to be careful with how we talk about it, because you would never talk about this to a man, right? In this conversation about the muscular side of it, and also the way we talk about it, as in from my point of view when I'm commentating. If someone slams a club, a woman slams a club, she's not aggressive. You know, shouldn't she being aggressive there? And is muscular seen as a bad thing in women's sport? It's that the terminology, rather than if a guy slams a club, we kind of like laugh at it. We need to be careful with making. I remember when Georgia Hall won the Open. Oh, I wish she'd have smiled. Are you joking? Like,
yeah. What does it matter?
What does it matter? She won the British Open.
Yeah.
She smiled at the end for the next many years of her life.
Probably still smiling.
Yeah, but that was the funny thing that people got from that I.
Well, Tiger never got criticised for not smiling, because he was so in the zone when he used to win. He was almost perceived as being moody almost.
Yeah, and
but in the zone, really.
And also, like, a lot of the Asian players get that as well. Like, we don't see much of their personality. No, that's because they're ripping it and winning by a country mile.
Yeah.
I think as a media, we need to go and find that personality and get it out of them, because if you follow them on a social media platform, they have got the personality,
yeah, exactly.
but when they step inside the ropes, this is work.
Yeah.
So it's about us media now trying to tell the story of the players, and I think I'm doing the Rose Ladies series again this year, and that's really important for me. It's not just about the winner; it's about everybody, but it's finding something else about the winner other than, guess what, they're good at golf.
Yeah. I think the women do a really good, when they, certainly in social media, do a great job of that.
Yeah.
Like, I love following so many of them, you know, because I want to know more about them. I want to know what's your working week like, how much practice you put in, how much this, how much that. Like I want to follow the men tour players as well. Like, I want to see how much grind you do, where you going, what's this cool behind the scenes thing you're going to be doing. Like, it's all that interesting story that social media allows people to do. I suppose when you were kind of going through that wasn't really present, was it? That social media wasn't there. I
remember the first time I started YouTube, like, players were like taking the mick out of me a bit. Like, I'd turn up in Italy and some guy would have seen me off the YouTube, and they'd be like, look at you with your YouTube.
Yeah.
And now they're thinking, hang on a minute, like, there's something in this.
You're the pioneer.
Well, I'm not the pioneer, but there is, like, the Carly Booths and stuff. There's still so far ahead of everyone else in terms of the social media aspect to it.
Of course.
It's definitely a responsibility now of of the players to open up and show more of themselves, because they'll gain from it. I think on the course you can stay quite serious, but off it, it's nice to show a different side of yourself.
Well, this is one of the longest podcasts we've ever done.
Sorry,
It was really good.
edited.
I think people are going to... No,
No, it's one big
this is
fat
all
treat.
go.